The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Steffi is facing a shocking incident that completely turns her life upside down. It all started when Steffi, who was in a cold war with Finn, suddenly discovered that she was pregnant. This news not only shocked Steffi herself, but also raised countless questions about the future of her marriage. Below is the entire story as well as detailed analysis of each important aspect that made this situation more and more complicated. When Steffi held the pregnancy test in her hand with 2 lines, she completely collapsed and was extremely confused. Steffi herself always longed for a happy family life, so this good news should have filled her with happiness. However, the current situation made her painfully exclaim, "What the hell is going on?" Instead of the joy of welcoming a new life, Steffi only felt fear and anxiety. She has countless questions. Will her child be born into a loving home? How will Finn react? Where will their family go when the two are at odds so fiercely? While Steffi is shocked by the news of her pregnancy, her relationship with Finn is on the brink of collapse. The root cause of this Cold War stems from Finn's clear desire to connect with Luna and consider Luna a family member. For Steffi, this is unacceptable. Luna was once cruel and even imprisoned her. The thought of having to live with someone who had hurt her so badly is an obsession that Steffi cannot ignore. Finn, on the other hand, has a different mindset. He doesn't seem to be haunted by Luna's dark past, or at least he is tolerant enough to want to give Luna a chance to start over. Finn believes that Luna's repentance and change can open the door to reconciliation and a large family. It was this conflict in perspective that caused the gap between Steffi and Finn to widen. In the end, neither of them would give in, and after a heated argument, the two fell into a never-ending Cold War. For Steffi, Finn's insistence on considering Luna a part of the family was like a stab in the back. She could not stop remembering the days of being threatened, even imprisoned. Therefore, Steffi always maintained her stance that she would never accept Luna. Their conflict became more intense when Finn bluntly mentioned the possibility of divorce. This was a huge shock, because Steffi did not think Finn could make such a cold decision. In a state of severe trauma, Steffi began to wonder about the future. Will what she tried to build with Finn collapse? Can they find common ground, or has everything gone too far? It seems that the stubborn, decisive nature of both only pushes things to a dead end. Normally, pregnancy is a sacred and happy moment, but for Steffi, it accidentally became a source of huge pressure. She feared that if the situation continued to escalate, Finn could put her in danger both mentally and physically. How could she keep the baby safe and grow up in a peaceful environment when its parents were on the verge of breaking up? Steffi could not hold back her tears when thinking about the worst-case scenario. If she and Finn continued to fall into crisis, the child could become a victim of that conflict. In a deadlock, Steffi confusedly asked the question, should she end this stormy marriage? Even in her moments of breakdown, she had a moment of extreme thought. Would it be better if she had an abortion herself before things got worse? Would Steffi decide to have an abortion before confessing to Finn? This question was like a big explosion, wrapping up Steffi's confusion, fear, and many mixed emotions. At the moment, she was under terrible pressure from the threat of divorce and feeling insecure with her husband who did not stand by her. On the other hand, Steffi also had to endure the nightmare of Luna, whom Finn wanted to bring into the family, despite knowing her dark history. Steffi was clearly exhausted, but it was not that she did not have feelings for Finn. However, was it really good for the baby to continue to maintain the marriage in this tense and threatening atmosphere? This struggle made Steffi even more closed, avoiding even confessing her pregnancy to Finn. She was afraid that if Finn knew about the child, he would use the child as a reason to force her to accept Luna, or worse, put her in a situation where she could not make up her mind. While everything is still open, the audience can only follow each development to see what Steffi will do in this dilemma. Will she find a way to hide the secret of her pregnancy and decide to have an abortion? Or will she finally choose to face it, confess everything to Finn, and work it out together? Will Finn realize in time that his little family is more precious than any desire related to Luna? Each episode promises a series of tense situations, intertwined with pain, anxiety, and unpredictable calculations. And of course, the truth will be revealed. Who will be the most deeply hurt? Who will be the one to leave? And who will persevere to the end to protect the family? All can only be answered through each development of the bold and the beautiful. Brooke is going through a crisis when witnessing the relationship between her and Ridge increasingly falling into a deadlock. Although Brooke tried everything to mend their relationship, even advising Hope to return the company to Ridge to relieve the pressure, this effort still did not help her win back the man she desired. Things became worse than ever when Ridge decided to choose a different direction, a sweet trip with Taylor to a seaside resort. Thinking that this peaceful time would help Ridge and Taylor reconnect their love, then a mysterious incident suddenly occurred. Taylor suddenly disappeared without a trace. Brooke once had absolute faith that the love between her and Ridge was irreplaceable. She put all her efforts into finding ways to correct past mistakes, even influencing Hope to return the company that was considered Ridge's brainchild, just to appease his anger. However, this plan did not bring the expected results. Ridge still felt disappointed in Brooke and was moved by Taylor's sincerity and calmness. That made Brooke gradually fall into a state of despair and hurt. Even those around her could easily see that she was on the verge of losing control of her emotions. Ridge chose to run away, with Taylor to escape the pressure, and wanted to create an opportunity for both of them to rekindle their feelings. This was not only an unbelievable decision for many people, but also a fatal blow to Brooke's psychology. In theory, Brooke still had a chance to convince Ridge, at least to keep in touch, but in reality, he was colder and more decisive than ever. For Brooke, this action was no different from affirming that Ridge had chosen Taylor, not her. When all of Brooke's hopes gradually faded, Taylor suddenly mysteriously disappeared at the coastal resort. Neither Ridge nor her family could contact her, causing a tense atmosphere. From a sweet trip, everything turned into a search for a missing person. Amidst all the vague speculations, a creepy hypothesis emerged. Brooke, in a fit of desperation and madness over love, came up with the idea of cruel revenge and kidnapped Taylor. Many people think this sounds absurd, but there is also a lot of indirect evidence that makes the suspicion even thicker. First of all, Brooke is an ambitious person who will do anything to achieve her goals. She always considered Taylor as her #1 rival in the race to win Ridge's heart. In the context of being abandoned by Ridge, Brooke may have completely lost her mind and is willing to do anything just to prevent Taylor from winning Ridge's heart. Not only did Taylor disappear, she was said to have woken up in an abandoned house, completely isolated from the outside world. She panicked when she didn't know where she was, who had kidnapped her, and what her purpose was. Her fear was evident in every gesture as she tried to escape this place. The thought that Brooke, who had previously had many conflicts with her, was the one behind it made Taylor extremely uneasy. What would happen to her when Brooke's mind was tormented by hatred? The biggest question haunting the audience is, will Brooke stop and forgive Taylor? Or has her jealousy and resentment gone too far, pushing her to a colder decision that could even harm Taylor's life? In the past, despite endless competition with each other, Brooke and Taylor still sometimes joined hands for common goals, especially when it came to family. However, if Brooke really did kidnap her, it would mean that she has trampled on every moral value she has ever tried to uphold. And more seriously, how will Ridge react when he learns that the person he once loved with all his heart, the person he once thought was just swept away by emotions, could be so reckless as to threaten Taylor's life? This is the key to making the story more dramatic, a disillusioned Brooke who loses control, an innocent Taylor who may become the victim of crazy revenge, and a Ridge who has no idea about the tragedy that happened behind this romantic trip. Every small development in the film will decide Taylor's fate. Will she have a chance to escape? Will Brooke really become the most serious criminal in her life? And how will Ridge save the woman he loves? Each episode seems to gradually reveal the bitter confrontation between the two women. Will everything end in tears, death, or belated happiness? We can only wait for the next episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful to find out the truth behind this mysterious curtain. And surely, Taylor's return or permanent disappearance will be the key factor that decides everything.